Hey guys, I'm back again with another deck profile. Today I'm going to do Goukis from the new format, post Nationals. I start with 5 hand traps. These are the very standard hand traps. I think most decks play these 5, and I think these are the best 5 to play. So it's just 3 ash and 2 droll. This is the best hand trap in the format, I think, but my opinion is moot because I haven't play tested nearly enough to make that claim, but this is my favorite one that I've played with. This one is obviously very significant. Now we have 3 junk forward. This is another amazing card. It extends you into being able to play more stuff. I've tested with this version of the deck with Marauding Captains in the Sky Striker build, and I prefer this build because this Marauding Captain gives you 3 monsters on your first summon, with one of them being this guy. So I prefer to play these and Marauding Captains. Speaking of him, we're gonna have 3 Marauding Captains. Needless to say, he lets you summon. Well, if you're so far ahead, like you can even, or if you're so far behind, I guess I should say, and you still have one in your hand, you could even like summon this to make an invoker. And you know, it might not come up often, but it could. And in the Sky Striker build, that just can't happen. And I think that like overall, this version is better because it adds a little more consistency. Plus, you can get rid of these for Divine Sword, and it's sort of like a free warrior removal from your graveyard. Now we're going to get to the Goukis. We have 3 Suprex. He's like the Marauding Captain of Goukis. And they all say add a Gouki card. They shouldn't, but they all do. And so that's insane. So I've tested a bunch of different builds of Gouki. I've tested the 13 Gouki build, the 10 Gouki build, the 12 Gouki build, the 11, whatever, however many you want to play, I've tested it. And I've settled on the 12 build. And so I have 3 Suprex and 3 Twist Cobra. Sorry about the Shatterfoil. I wish they were all either Super or Shatterfoil. And this is my favorite, most consistent build. I like the Twist Cobras. They have a sort of relevant ability where they just like, I think it makes a guy gain attack, right? Yes, I thought so. You have to tribute a guy and makes it gain attack, so you could like go into combat and do that, unless I'm cheating with that. But yeah, so that's a pretty cool and relevant thing. For the most part, it doesn't matter as much as it being a 3-star Gouki that searches for other Goukis. Now, we go to my favorite, which is Gouki Headbat. Often you'll have like an Isolde's target in your hand, and you'll discard it to this, to target another Gouki, pump it by 800, and most importantly, specialing this from your hand. Just lets you keep going. It gives you another summon. It's my favorite one, so I play 2. I also play 2 Octo Stretch. This is very, very staple. Like 3 Suprex and 2 of this are the only thing that's ever consistent between all builds, and that's because this lets you just go off, essentially. Isolde searches for it, and that's all that really matters, honestly. Then I'll play the other 2, for Scorpio and Bear Hug. Bear Hug is usually my go-to Isolde target, but, I mean, sometimes it's for Scorpio. Sometimes you just draw them and play them, and they're just gigantic, normal summon creatures, so that'll do enough itself. And the last monster, Ibly. It makes a mermaid by itself. It's also tutorable by mermaid, which if you play 2 mermaids, you can summon both, or use the first mermaid to summon him, pop that to, you finish you linking with the second mermaid, but and you can give it to your opponent, like you just give it to them in like defense mode, whatever they want to put it in, and that's good in itself. They can only summon link monsters, so if you have a U-Link and they have this, they can't special summon, and that's pretty brutal. We have 3 Instant Fusion. This card is surprisingly still at 3. I mean, it could be at 1, no problem, but I only play 1 target, it's the Dragonis. But you just want to play 3 of this for consistency, because this lets you go off. Of course, like, I think it is important noting that you are vastly changing the extra deck to accommodate this card. So maybe one build of this one day will cut the Invoker and the Dragonis, just cut these 3 cards from the deck and add more consistent cards. I'm not sure, though. Then after that, we have 3 Called by the Grave. This gets past hand traps. A funny little story about today. I didn't really realize how this works against Swift Scarecrow, so I didn't really try it, and I got blown out. I still haven't Googled it 100%, but I'm pretty sure I can do this against Scarecrow. So I still won that game, but it took a little longer. So I've tested builds with this in the side, with this in the main, and I think it just is a main staple, especially with Divine Sword coming back constantly. Twin Twisters gets rid of those pesky back row, and that is this deck's, like, honestly, worst nightmare. I think people are calling them floodgates now. You have to get rid of those floodgates. We need the flood to go. So, and we have 2 Gouki rematch. I'm not so familiar with the ban list like I should be. I assume this is... I know that it's really hard to play 3, right? If it's a 3. But it's sort of weird that it's not being played at 3, because there are turns, like, sure, if you played 2, you should have won or you're going to lose. But there are times when, like, you just won a 3rd one because the game's dragging out a little too long. Is there room for the 3rd one? Not really. But that's another, if you cut out the instant fusion package, you might be able to fit another one of these. Probably too much. It's probably best with instant fusion. I'm just throwing ideas out there. Now we go on to the equipments that Isolde sends, or you can just draw and play. Both are actually decent. So this card just nets you insane advantage. You get rid of your junk forward, your Isolde, your Invoker. I think, yes, I had to make sure. Invoker, Marauding Captain, stuff like that. And you can keep discarding it to either Twin Twisters, your Gouki cards. That's about it. But either way, you get the point. It's very good. It generates a lot of advantage because you constantly have monsters in your graveyard that are warriors. This card just lets you pop back row, and it, like, actually is pretty damn good. I've only played it a couple of times. And also, like, with this deck, you can... For example, I didn't mention this earlier when I went to Headbat and Octostretch. You could send 1 for Octostretch or 2 for Headbat. It hasn't came up really yet, but, just the option of that is pretty huge. Now the more staple spells for the rest of the deck. We have Rhoda, which searches for every target in the deck except for Ibli, I'm pretty sure. Or in the hand traps, I guess, but yeah. So it searches for a majority of the deck. This is the one that's more cuttable of the 3. Monster Born, but I mean, you could pop up or get rid of a unicorn for a mermaid and then reborn the mermaid or unicorn, if I knew how to talk. They're all fictional animals or creatures, beings. I don't know. Soul Charge is the last card. I don't know how this card was even made. It doesn't make sense. If you asked me, like, who made this card, I would have guessed, like, a forum on Pojo or Duelist Grounds that said, like, create fictional cards that would never exist. Coming from Magic, or just coming back to Yu-Gi-Oh! After being... It doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter I was in Magic. What matters is, I would have never guessed in a billion years they'd make something this powerful. This is probably the... It's so good. I don't know. It's crazy. I don't know how that card exists. So we're going to go to the Fusion, or Extra deck. Ooh, it's been a while. Dragonis the Wicked. This is just for instant fusion. With Marauding Captain and Junk Forward and, Twist Cobra, it makes Invoker. He special summons Suprex. Those 2 alone can make an Isolde, which I play 2 of because of hand traps and stuff. This card is obviously Nutter Butters. If you Chainlink 1 this, and then any of the Goukis is Chainlink 2, like, they can Ash Blossom this, and that doesn't matter as much as them Ash Blossoming a Gouki, but still, it matters. I made the mistake in the first regional I came back. I'd never read any of these cards, so I didn't know what they did. And then I wanted to build the deck when I saw what it did. These cards, I tried to Ash Blossom this, and he explained how the chain thing worked. And then I just went ahead and Ash Blossomed the first Gouki, and then I promptly lost. So I would, definitely play 2 of this. And just hope that you don't, or hope you play against people like me at regionals. 2 Knightmare Mermaid. I have been testing Link Kuriboh. I do have one. But I think I would prefer this because there are times, like, where, Link Kuriboh could save me out of a slightly inconvenient spot that I would just be able to handle next turn with a Borolo Dragon or something. But this prevents them from doing damn near anything. Like, if you have this and, I don't know, Cerberus and Goblin, you're just going to win the game. Like, how are they going to what are they going to make, a 3100? You know what I mean? Like, it's pretty insane. Then the rest of the Knightmares, Cerberus, Phoenix, only one Goblin because I needed more 3s. In my local, there's a lot of True Draco, so I have to sort of build my extra deck around that. And that's another reason I wish the Instant Fusions were sort of out of the deck. And I might test with that and see how it goes. But Goblin should probably be at 2. However, I've never, ever played 2 in all of the games I've played. Then we have Knightmare Unicorn. This one's insane. Also, you have to remember, if they're co-linked, you get to draw a card after you discard, and I didn't do that in any game today. I just completely forgot about that ability. So I probably missed like 7 or 8 draws. I'm so bad. But I'm just getting back into it, guys. Then we have the more generic ones. 1 Underclock Taker. It's just a generic rank 2, link 2, whatever you call them. And you can just link it away into other stuff most of the time. Like, so sometimes it's okay as just being your other like extra link zone with a mermaid, but I don't know, 2 mermaids is probably better if you can pull it off. Trisbana. This can just get rid of back row and stuff, and I didn't play it today, and I really missed it because there were a lot of times when I could have made this and like done anything and just wiped all their back row. And my local's filled with True Draco and Sky Striker and other it's filled with the format, so I feel like this is good against a lot of the format. Maybe not all of it, but a lot. We have Trigate Wizard. He's just a counter spell. I don't know why they do what they do, but they do it. Borreload. He was pretty great today. He took control of a something crazy. I don't remember. Oh, well, he took control of a really good like rank 3 earlier, and I was able to get rid of it for this guy, Firewall Dragon, with a regular Gouki. Why is this printed? Konami, if you ever watch any of these videos, why did you do this? Like, these 2 cards are so bad for the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And you have them at the same time in the same format? Come on, Konami. What are you doing? What are you doing, Konami? Ban it. I don't care if it's the front of the box. Ban it. Alright. Extra deck, side deck. This is just my local build, so you'll have to, do with what I have, it doesn't matter. 2 Ghost Ogre, 2 Gamma Seal, 2 Shared Ride, 2 Mind Crush, 3 Evenly Matched. I'm going to do this one first. Ceasefire. I play this for, like, as shady as it is, in case we're going into Game 3 and there's like 5 minutes on the clock. And funny enough, today there was 2 minutes on the clock. I didn't side it in. I still got that game, luckily. But I'm just bad. Get back into the swing of things, little by little. And this is my tech card. So, obviously, there's a lot of other cards that probably should be in here. But I want to start trying this out because, it's at 3. It hasn't been at 3 in a very long time. Granted, it might have been at 3 for like the last year or something. I don't know. But the last time I played, it was put to 1 6 years before that. So, I'm excited to play with Torrential Tribute at 3 for the first time since 2005. And I haven't actually like drawn them yet, so I'm hoping they go well when I finally play them. Who knows? They might be cut next week for like raw sphere mode or something stupid. I don't know. But thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like it, build it, play test it, tell me how you did below. If not, thanks for being here. Thanks.